I'm assigned to NLK.
Hi, I'm Officer Molly Spencer. I'm night shift patrol up in the North District.
The reason I called Barbara is I wanted to talk to the community about some things that are concerning to me. We're seeing an increase in violent crime and issues in the North Sarasota. And we actually have, in the last 6 months, seen an increase in shootings. We've seen an increase of individuals that are shooting at each other, doing drive-by shootings, and we're finding a lot of casings. And we're not just talking about BB guns, we're not talking about 22s, we're talking about AK-47 rounds, which are dangerous and will enter houses, will go through car doors. And one of the things we're doing is we're strategizing with the community and working in partnership with the community. We've got a great relationship with the Amaryllis Association and its members, and I actually had a meeting last night with a group of pastors and reverends from the areas, and we're coming up with some ideas and strategies for trying to reduce the violence, trying to get the guns off the street and specifically target individuals that are involved in the shooting. We really believe it's retaliatory. We believe it's in retaliation. Some of these from a recent murder that happened in the county. It didn't happen in the city, but the individuals are coming into the city and shooting at each other. And it's also in reference to a shooting that occurred where a young man came into Sarasota to get a handgun and accidentally, I believe, shot the individual in the front seat, and then that caused people to start shooting back and forth to each other. So one of the things that we're going to do, our commitment is the safety of the individuals in our community, and I could not live with myself if a child and an innocent person, let alone the people that are shooting each other, get hurt or killed. So one of the things we're doing is we're going to be increasing our police presence within the community. The first thing I want to assure you of is that we are not going to be doing and I hate to even use this terminology, but a shotgun approach to this, because what other law enforcement agencies have done in the past is they put an increased number of police officers in a community that's having an increase in crime, and then they end up pulling over and addressing the citizens, the very citizens that we're trying to protect. So we are not doing that. You're not going to see officers out there just pulling over every single car that runs a stop sign or doesn't wear a seatbelt, because I will tell you that every single one of us in here probably could get stopped every single day for some type of traffic violation. And by the way, please wear your seatbelts, please stop at the stop signs, okay? Please drive the speed limit. But what we are going to do is we do have a pretty darn good idea of who the individuals involved in this is. We know in law enforcement that about 80% of the crimes are committed by 20% of the individuals that live in a community. So we're going to be looking at the individuals that have warrants, especially felony warrants. We're going to be looking at individuals who we believe are involved in some of these activities, and we're going to keep our presence in the community. What we need from the community is we need you to, one, if you know that your sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters have weapons, they shouldn't own weapons, they illegally possess the weapons, or you're concerned that they're going to hurt themselves, we want you to get the guns from them and turn them into us. No questions asked. We will not come after you or your family members. I don't care. Let's get those guns off the street. I also want you to know that we're going to start having pastors riding along in our police cars with us at nighttime. And the pastors are going to be actually doing, like pastors on patrol. They're actually going to be doing outreach to individuals within the community. And we're hoping that that'll build up relationships and trust between the police and the pastors, because the pastors, I think, have a lot of influence over individuals in our community. And we trust them also. So I think the trust will be on both sides. The other thing is we're looking at developing a night where we're going to go out into the community together as a community, where we're going to walk through our North Sarasota community and try to identify where lighting needs to be increased, because I think there are some dark spots within the community, and lighting is a really inexpensive way of deterring crimes because the area is well lit and it's hard for people to hide in areas where it's well lit. We're also looking at, there's a number of actually celebrities within our community, including, I just saw Sam Shields as I was walking into the building. If you know him, he plays for the Green Bay Packers. And I just actually met with Reggie Williams, and if you don't know who Reggie Williams is, every year the NFL picks a man of the year, and he played for the Cincinnati Bengals, and it was a linebacker, and he got the Walter Payton Award for moved to Sarasota, and he wants to be involved with the community. He worked for Disney for 13 years, and he also was instrumental in garnering peace between the Crips and the Bloods in California when the Super Bowl took place there a number of years ago. And he wants to engage with the community, be an inspiration and a mentor and a guide for individuals in our community, especially young people. So we're looking at this as a multi-pronged approach, but we cannot do this exclusively as law enforcement. We can't, and it's only going to be up to you as the community to decide enough is enough. When you are ready to report to us who you know has the guns illegally, who's involved in the shootings, and the last part is I want to share with you is we're going to work collaboratively, and if any of you are interested in being on this committee, we're going to look and see if we can come up with a deferment program so that the men, and it's mainly young men, but there are some young women also carrying guns too and involved in that kind of activity, but we want to look at a way that we aren't sending those individuals to jail, and that they don't get a felony record. We know how difficult it is for people to get jobs when you have a felony record. And we've done that in a number of other initiatives. We've done that with our drug market intervention. We've done it with the prostitution in our community, and we want to do it now with guns because this is just not a Sarasota problem. This is a nationwide problem. And I've actually attended in Washington, D.C. a meeting with other police chiefs around the country, from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. to Boston to Los Angeles, Seattle, Dallas. All the major cities were there. And when they talked about gun crime, we were reflective of what they're seeing in major cities, just on a much smaller scale. And the big thing is they're finding that more and more young people are carrying handguns. And the reason that they're carrying handguns is because they're more scared of being out in the community without having a gun. They're scared of what's going to happen to them, that they could be shot and hurt by other individuals within the community, than they are being caught by the police. Because they know that in law enforcement, it takes over 3 times before an individual is caught with a handgun before they actually face any jail time. So there's an issue with fear going on within the community, and you guys need to help us with that. We really need your assistance, we need your cooperation, and we're going to be working really hard to make sure that we keep the community safe. I've already gotten some positive feedback. We started this initiative on Friday. We, thank God, did not have any incidents over the weekend, and we're hoping to continue this for at least up to the next 60 days. So if any of you have your phones available, I want to give you my cell phone number for you to be able to call me, so please take your number out and don't hesitate to call if you have any concerns or questions. I have no problem with you contacting me. So when you're ready, it's 941-780-2746. And again, 941-780-2746. Also, that's not the number you call for emergencies, by the way, okay? 911 is still the number you call for emergencies. The reason you would call me on that number is if you're frustrated with how you feel the police handled something, or if you like something that you saw the police officers, what they did, or you want to volunteer and become part of the solution, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. The reason that I brought these officers here, Captain Dimitri Konstantopoulos, brand new captain, just got promoted. Give him a round of applause. He's a brand new captain, but he's not new to the organization. He's worked in various different areas in various capacities, including internal affairs. And I look at my internal affairs as being one of the areas where you have to have your most trusted individual, because the officers have to trust that the internal affairs is going to do a good investigation, and the community needs to trust that the officers are going to do a good investigation. And he's done a great job working really close with the police complaint committee that reviews all of our internal affairs investigations. So Dimitri's the patrol captain. He's the officer, he's the commander of all the officers that you see each and every day patrolling out on the street, whether it is by somebody calling me, somebody checking to see if that's the right number. Normally I have that happen. Normally somebody's like, did she tell me the truth? So he's in charge of the officers you'll see on bike, on foot, and also in the vehicles. And these are 2 of the officers that work in the Newtown and the North Sarasota area. And these should be faces you're familiar with. And I'm going to let them say a little bit about themselves so you know that they're human beings also, and share a little bit about why they care
just comments
You got
from the citizens on all of this.
So I'm a native of the Boston, Massachusetts area. You can probably tell by the way I talk, you'll notice I don't pronounce my R's. And I've been with the police department for about 3 years now. I've been assigned to the MLK corridor for roughly a year and a half. And I do see some familiar faces in here. And I guess I'm happy to take any quick questions. Essentially, I'm a walking beat unit, so I am on the block. This uniform I wear is specific to walking beat officers. You'll see the same officers on Main Street wearing these uniforms. So you'll know when you see myself. My partner isn't here tonight. Grant Hudgens is his name. He also wears the same uniform. So I think a few of you have already spoke with me or seen me out on MLK. And I'm always available. I've handed out a few of my business cards already. So if you have any questions specific to the MLK corridor or what's going on in the north part of the city, I'll leave my business cards here. I do have some with me, and I'm happy to take any phone calls.
We're just gonna let you two introduce yourself, because they wanna have a conversation with the chief.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Like I said, I'm Officer Molly Spencer. I'm assigned to the North District. I'm filling in for his partner right now, working the walking beat hours, which is 3 to 3. So I will be on the MLK corridor tonight, but normally I'm patrol. So you'll see me around just normal patrol. But we really enjoy where we work. We enjoy the community, and I guess we'll open it up for questions.
I've got one last thing. One of the things that I've noticed in law enforcement, I'm sure a lot of you are seeing on television, a lot of different issues about law enforcement involved with use of force. And one thing I want to share with you is there is one thing that can be done to reduce police officers using force within any arrest, and that's compliance with police officers. If a police officer, I'll let you talk in a second if you just let me finish. First of all, you need to comply with the police officer when they tell you you're under arrest. You need to comply, because if you don't comply, then force is going to have to be used. Then the officers are doing their job. So please, all I'm asking is please comply. The second thing that I'm asking is that when an officer is making an arrest, and what we're seeing more and more is that crowds are gathering around and enticing people to fight with the police. And that is actually not a good thing to do, because what you do is you incite crowds and get people acting up. And I have no problem with anybody videoing our officers. I have no problem with crowds being there. But when people are yelling, fight the police, and screaming and yelling and making it really raises things up to a level that is unnecessary and makes it dangerous for everybody. And that's my number one concern. So I'm done, and I want to listen to what everybody else has to say.
Thank you. Everybody, if I could just say, everybody's question is very important, but if we could respect everybody, so we can hear the question, so it can be properly addressed. Thank you.
As I said, I think from the questions that you're going to be addressing to the chief, we're gonna have to have another meeting, because she asked to come and address you with this one. And from that, because it is some serious issues, I have been talking to her about the things you all have been bringing, and we don't think that I have not addressed them with her. That's so for this, and then we do need to have, and then we'll let her set up another meeting, because seriously, we need to address this. So,
And very briefly, the question's got to be brief, so everybody can.
who wanted to, you?
Katrina.
My name is Katrina Clinton, and I just have a question for you, Chief. Okay.
Speak up. Whoa, up and down. Slow down.
He says that it's about guns, and your officers are here to patrol the area. Your officers, you want us not to be violent towards your officers. We're not being violent towards your officers. My sign says, I fear SPD. I've been here 45 years, and this is my first time ever fearing SPD. It is awful. The patrolling of the area, let me clear it up. I'm standing on, I got Jesus, so I'm standing on his word. He's not gonna leave or forsake me. On Gillespie, 2919, where I live, I'm always getting harassed. I am always getting harassed about what others do. If the captain says that there's so many transactions and cars going on Gillespie, okay? The Great Taurus is on, y'all got patrolling. What they got to do with me? I fear for my life. I haven't gotten to sleep in a whole week. Just today at 4:30 school, a cop in front of my house put another cop on the side of, on the wrong side of the street, and says that the children ran in my house. I've been up for 5 years. I don't get in trouble. I respect the law. The law have killed two of my family members already. You gave us your phone number, Chief DePino. You would not answer me. You would not answer me. Just the other day, when the officer in that gray car bothered me, he seen me get out on the passenger side. I don't have any driver's license. I walk and ride a bicycle. And that man, he threatened me. I called your phone and left a voice message. You hadn't answered me yet. I made complaints against Officer Combs and whomever else. You sent me a letter back saying you didn't find anything. What am I supposed to do, Chief DePino? These people are, patrolling the area is fine with me. Drugs is not fine with me. Violence isn't fine with me whatsoever. Your officers are so violent. Your officers, we are afraid even to walk to the corner store because of those trucks. I mean, it is sad. I've been in this community all my freaking life, and I haven't feared nothing or nobody ever. But this crew that's on, it's a game. Y'all bullies. Y'all are bullies.
I'll be happy to answer any questions, but I don't know what question that was. I'm not really sure how I can respond to I'll be happy to answer any questions. And if you called me and I didn't respond, I apologize, but I never got a call from you. So I don't know what number you're calling. You've got my number, and I've also had assigned cases to internal affairs to be reviewed based on complaints that you have.
Excuse me, as I said, because Chief, you know what, I've had like, 3 meetings? And I think.
I've had more than 3 meetings.
Now, because as I told you, they thought I was exaggerating that our community people is getting in touch with me. And they are telling me that they are being harassed by our police officers.
They are.
When they call for the officers, when they arrive angry, and so that's why, as I told you before with this, because I do not want, we have never had violence in our neighborhood between, and what I'm seeing now, and you hearing this out of her mouth, our citizens saying they are afraid of the officers. They hate the officers that they feel because of the way they are treating them. That's why I wanted you to hear some of this, because as I say, we do need to call another meeting, because this is very serious. We need to get to the bottom of this, because as I have said time and time again, we do not want any police officers in our neighborhood that don't want to be here. Because all that is a problem waiting to happen. And they are not lying, because I have talked to a couple. What are they angry about? This is their job. This is what they're supposed to be doing. Why are they angry? So we're going to take a few more, and then I would like to, as I said, we do have to get to the bottom of this. Now you see that I have not been coming and telling you that this is what's happening. And you see with what you say, you trying to get cleared up in our community. Here in our community, we have never had a meeting with the police department, and they stood up and our citizens say they are afraid of our officers. So here a few more, and we do need to have a meeting.
I think that the numbers show that our officers are not abusing our community. And I'm talking about facts, not about the facts. If I could just finish, what I'm talking about is we actually have two independent groups that oversee the police department. We have an independent police advisory panel, and we have a police complaint committee. And we have organizations that actually review every single complaint that comes into our office. It goes through internal
they have no say, so all those complaints go back to Mrs. DePino. You know, I know how it works. My name is Natasha Clemens. My son, Rodney Mitchell, was killed by police officers. They're extremely violent.
Not by the
They're
Sarasota
against-
Police Department.
It wasn't Sarasota Police
It wasn't.
Department,
It's
but
not
listen
fair
to
to
this, they
continue
were
to say it
affiliated
was
with
Amaryllis.
it. They were supposed to perform an homicide between the sheriff and the Sarasota County Police. However, the sheriff are the ones that killed my son. They knew all about it because they were coming into the black community to basically arrest as many African Americans as possible. So my thing is that she's saying about what they have as for these committees. Yes, it's true, but those people that sit on the committees, they have nothing to say. The decisions has already been made. You know, I know, Chief. Come on now, we've come a long ways. Whenever those complaints are presented, the chief, they claim that or behave as if they're investigating those complaints. They're not. I tell you what, let's all of us black folks go into the white neighborhoods and let's do their neighborhoods the same way they do our neighborhoods. It saddens me to know that I have a son that's dead. Okay, well, let's start cleaning up the white folks. See, right, you know, one right won't make nothing, one wrong will make a right. My thing is that it's completely wrong. I am totally against violence, but how is it that they can just come into our neighborhoods? I'm talking about they have cameras everywhere. They know exactly what we're doing from downtown, as if they're sitting in our houses. Our entire communities are under surveillance. It makes me angry. I really don't never get up and scream and yell like this. But when it comes to our children, I have grandkids. These officers are extremely violent. And I am telling you, they come with a vengeance. They come with a vengeance, and nobody is safe when it comes to black and brown people. I am begging you all, when it comes to you white folks, take this and talk about it at your dinner tables. Speak about it with your family members. Let them know that this is something that was taught. You wasn't born this way. Because one thing about myself, even though they killed my son, I'm still not prejudiced, but I have a concern with these officers coming in our communities and treating our children as such. Now, when I grew up, when it was Breakstone, Spitler, they were able to chastise us. They were able to take us home. They were able to discipline us, and we respected them. They never once did anything to take us to jail. Because what happens is that when you go to jail, you become a convicted felon. Because this is the type of charge they give us, felons. So they already know we can't get jobs. So this is, and then you become part of the system, and then you become part of the prison pipeline. Come on now, this is nothing new. This is a business, and that's exactly what it is. So I want you all to see.
Just we do not have cameras anywhere in the community.
Listen, let me tell you
We
something.
have
Y'all know I know that if nobody knows.
cameras within the community.
I know
Zero.
that.
This is my meeting and I said order. Chief,
No,
we're not talking about statistics.
We don't hear what you're saying.
What we're talking about,
We're
and
talking
we
about-
are, excuse me, I have the floor.
There are no cameras.
Excuse me, I have the floor. This is my community, as I have been coming and talking to you about, and everybody sitting here getting exactly what is being said. We have a problem with the way that our officers that you have assigned to Newtown is doing their job. Now, we got to address this, and what are we going to do about it to change it? Before you can talk about addressing anything else. And I know the groups you're talking about, when we had to address the other police department, I was a part of getting those set up. But that don't have anything to do with different people calling for complaints. Our citizens, and these are not hoodlums or criminals that's sitting here, been calling and telling me, that's sitting here telling you how these officers are conducting themselves, how these officers are treating us as people in here, and that is not the way. Police officers are supposed to be on the road to creating community policing. There is no community policing going on in here. Now, we have a serious problem, and I do have our commission sitting there, and we are going to have to address
Let me know when the next meeting is and I'll be back.
Putting more officers in this, we got to address this. Our relationship with our citizens and our police officers is bad.
My
community policing? Did you hear me?
I'm sorry, I did not.
Oh, can you define community policing?
Defined it.
Yes, I can define
I'd
community
appreciate
policing.
it.
Sure.
What is community policing?
But community policing is a two-pronged approach to policing. One is about problem solving. It's actually looking at what issues that are going on within the community and working with the community to solve those problems using a formula called SARA, which is scan, analyze, respond, and assess what problems are going on in the community. And the other is to build up relationships and partnerships with the community. So that's part of what community policing in a very short definition.
Let me go back for a minute. I'm not gonna be here long. What happened to the bicycle patrolmen? What happened to the officers walking the corridors, learning about the community and the people in it, the businesses along the corridor, the people in the community? There was a time when
we do have officers that are riding in bicycles, and we do have officers that are walking. This is the officer that's walking the beat here in the corridor.
I seen them ride one time and walk on 12, it was 12 police officers riding on bicycles.
I'll have to share something with you. Unless you're looking out your window 24 hours a day straight,
We are.
a police officer can go by your house and go by your neighborhood, and you'll never see them because the officers are out patrolling. And I also have to tell you something else, which Barbara was saying, is that I was just at a meeting last night with other citizens from the Newtown community that said just the opposite of what you're saying. They're saying they are seeing the police, they appreciate the police being in the community, and they have good relationships with the, if I can say, good relationships with the citizens in the community. And I'll also have to tell you something else. This concerns me when everybody is yelling and shouting. It concerns me because that's not the policing of that I believe in, and that's not what our police officers believe in either. If I could just finish, we do have processes for evaluating, and some of these emotional stories that are coming out, because that's what a lot of the stories are emotional. You don't know all the facts of the story. You don't know why that person was arrested. You don't know why the officer was involved in the incident that they were the way they were. And a lot of what's going on is somebody heard somebody say something else and then passes the story along, as opposed to, I very rarely ever get citizens come forward that were directly at an incident and saw what the officers were involved with.
We got video.
And they were not there, Barbara. They weren't there at the incident.
Well, Chief, as I say, and I think everybody else sitting here can see, we have a problem. These are our citizens, and we do need to address this. We got to come together and figure out how, and I guess maybe it starts with you letting these officers that's in here to heck out of here and get some
Especially
The first thing I will tell you is that our officers working out here are working hard to protect you each and every single day. And our officers go through extensive training. They've gone through bias-based police training. They've gone through community policing training. They go through extensive training. And they're here to protect the community, not harm the community. And I also assure you that our supervisors
We're going over time with this. We got to miss to address. Chief, I asked you a question, but are you willing for us, maybe we need to work with our commission? We need to set up, we got a problem, and we have to address it. So, we need to set a time, because this has to be addressed. I've been here all our life, respect. We never had this problem with our
Barbara, you know what I find is I find people want to come and yell at me and yell at the
They're
police
not
officers.
yelling at you, they're telling you what is happening.
If I can finish, if people really want to have solutions, I'm willing to sit down with them and talk to them about having solutions with the department. If you want to get to know the police officers, I'm willing to have you come do ride-alongs with the officers, come to our Citizens Police Academy, come to use of force training days, come to learn about your police officers that work in the community and help us build these relationships, because that's what we need to do, is to build relationships amongst the citizens so that trust does come in there. Instead of people coming in and just making accusations. I don't know how to fix it.
Our community, it's our community.
It's my community too.
the shootings that been happening. I live on that street. I just bought a home on that street. It had nothing to do with anybody in Sarasota. So you patrolling the area, you're not doing a good job. Second of all, I seen your police get out the car. I seen her race down the street. I live down Links, and told her to slow down. They were chasing someone. When you chasing, and my grandkids was out there. Let's be clear. Combs got out the car and hit someone the other day. Did you do anything about that? That's on video. Let's be clear about that. So all this different stuff, they're going in people's yards, they're going in cars, they're snatching doors open, they're doing a lot of stuff that you do not see. So you know about it, you hear about it, we call about it, and you do not answer your phone. He didn't hear about it. You didn't hear about it? He didn't. Okay, well, for one, I've been coming to these meetings and telling you to put lights around Newtown. You keep saying it's FPNL. It's not FPNL. Period. It's too dark. It's dark up to the police station where all of them gather up, get out their cars, walk up, do all type of stuff. I have seen it in action. So yes, my name is Becky Shelton. You can look me up. And yes, I am fired up about the community because there's so much going on and they're supposed to be helping, but no one's helping because you're not out there at nighttime. 5 o'clock when I get up to go to work in the morning, it's dark. Everybody's out there. The police riding around not doing anything because it's dark. You can't see what they're doing. We're not sitting here complaining. We're not yelling at you. We just upset because the stuff keeps happening. And they chase the gray car when they coming down Links. Like she said, from Gillespie, they go from Gillespie and come up Links chasing. I mean, just doing 90. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why are they chasing people? Why are they pulling cars? I mean, the excuse is tenants. The excuse is I smell weed. It's just too much. Is that an excuse? They're not helping us. And then they talk trash when they come out. So it's not, yeah, they're mad. We mad. We mad because they're not serving and protecting. That's all we're saying. We're not mad about, what's going on.
We're gonna let this young lady, and then we gotta cut this off.
It's too much. It's too much.
Let us know if we're gonna have a meeting, really try to get all this.
There's too much going on.
I have two things. First of all, I heard you say that people in the community can come along on ride-ons and things like that, and come to events and things with y'all. But are y'all going to their churches? Are you going into the businesses and are you buying from their businesses?
Yes,
are
we
you
are.
shopping?
Yep,
Are
yes,
you
we
doing
are.
things for the community
Yes.
yourself?
Yes.
Second, why are there no African Americans patrolling Newtown? How many are on your force, and why are there not more on your force?
We have African Americans on our force, and we do have African American officers.
How many
that
do you have?
We do have African American officers that are working on our force, and we do have African American officers that work in this area. And we actually have a school resource officer that's African American that works at Booker High School with the students at Booker High School.
That's at Booker High School. That's down
Okay,
there.
I guess, I will be getting with, our local city commissioner or whatever, because it's not if, it is going to be addressed, what's
When?
going on with our officers
When?
in this community, because we have never had this, and we are not going to have this in our town. It is going to be addressed.
Somebody will be dead by
She
then.
done heard from you, as I told her, what I've been hearing, so, but we got to get to this other very important issue going on over here that's addressing our community, so everybody's safe. So, Chief,
Can I ask a question?
yes, Mom.
Would it be possible for everybody that's here tonight that's very angry that they sign up with a phone? No, I know, you're not. But sign up and then be on her list so that she can contact you and put you on the citizens list. Well, maybe she will
We are
not.
going to, excuse me, we are going to get a meeting set up to address this. And just as we got to each and every, and you hear me telling you this right now, because I will get.
Open it up where you want to live stream from and put in a description. Open up your Facebook.
We have never had this violence between the officers, and we're not going to have it now. So, yes, we are going to have this meeting and find out what's going on. So, Chief, before you want to saturate our community with other officers, I think we got to get this down.